Welcome to another episode of Shapes of Resilience. So today I am very honoured to be joined by Stephen Kelly, also known as Survival Steve on Instagram. It's an honour to have you on today, Steve. So thanks for joining me first and foremost.
Ollie, honestly, much appreciated for inviting me on. And I'm a bit like yourself. I like all the mental resilience and I like talking about it. So I'm ready to rock and roll, mate.
Yeah, well, it's safe to say you've had a fair chunk of resilience over your time. And what I like to do with my guests now, I've done 50 odd of these podcasts now, and rather than using the hour to go through your story, appreciate we could do that and it would be a fantastic podcast. But I'm really keen to learn what's inside. So to do that, I think it'd be cool to start off just by giving an overview of your career, the important bits, like just whatever you want to include in that, just so then we can start dissecting bits you've learned along the way, and now more importantly what you're involved with now. So yeah, take us back, mate. How have the last 2 decades been?
So a bit about my background. Yeah, I've been serving in the military now for just under 24 years, and I've only just recently retired a couple of weeks ago. I'm actually still in I'm in termination leave at the minute, so I have 30 days termination leave. So my last official day in the military is the 25th of March, and I'm not going to lie, it is a bit nervous, but this is what it's all about. I want to push outside my comfort zone, but that's where I am at the minute. I've served, like I said, just under 24 years in 2-9 Commando. I reached the ranks of Sergeant Major, which I'm privileged to hit because not everyone hits that rank. The position I was in, I was the RQMS, which is a senior role within 2-9 Commando, and I'm really proud of doing that. I've operated all over the world in different jungles, deserts, Arctic mountain environments, so I've been skilled in all these situations, which has been brilliant and pushed me right up my comfort zone. But what I mainly started specialising into, because something happened to me, was survival training. So back in 2010, I actually came on with a disease in my right eye, and I actually lost my sight in my right eye, and I was close to getting admin discharged. So we weren't going to get a payout. They were just going to get rid of me within 6 weeks because it was nothing to do with the military. It was just a disease. I came on with just a random disease called keratoconus. Mm-hmm. And I thought, right, I need to give myself a kick up the butt here. I've got no qualifications, but what I have got is I'm fit. I'm fit as a fiddle, and I'm good at survival. This is what I do. And that just gave me the kick up the butt to start planning for the future. And that's just a little bit about myself to maybe start some of the conversation, and we can delve more into it. But yeah, I've been all over the world, and obviously now I've landed roles on Discovery Channel, but that's just a little round robin of where I am at the minute.
Yeah, so appreciate you've got a fair size following now on social media. So when did that journey start for you of trying to build your presence on social media, because you knew that was going to land you in good stead for when you do leave to do what you're not passionate about?
Mate, good question. So my social media came into effect probably around 2010 when I came on with this disease. I remember signing up for Instagram in 2012, and all the lads used to give me crap about it, saying it's only for gay models. You shouldn't be posting on there. It's not cool, so to speak. And I just stuck to it. I've never cared what anyone thinks of me. I had my own dreams and goals, and I knew I was potentially getting admin discharge from the military, so I needed to create a brand. So I was posting all my survival stuff on Facebook, then I started posting it on Instagram. But luckily for me, my regiment ended up keeping me in. I ended up going through a medical board, and I ended up getting a bracket for my rifle so I could shoot with my left eye. So I had this extension on my rifle, and then my SUSAT had sit on top of it so I could lean over, and it was in line with my left eye. But then I got told I was going to get a med board every November for the rest of my career, a two-man medical board where they'll see if I'm still good enough to stay in the military every year. So it just drove me to build a brand and doing survival. And that's what I did on Instagram and Facebook. I was sharing loads of fitness stuff, then loads of survival stuff. And then next minute, I ended up having a fitness boot camp. We ended up running a gym in Plymouth. Then from there as well, I ended up setting up survival company. I originally set up it was called Devon Survival. That's what I was doing. I weren't actually running any events. I was just showing all survival stuff on Facebook and Instagram. The next minute, I started getting bookings asking people, "Oh, do you do PT?" And obviously, I went and done my Reps Level 3 PT course. I used my learning credits from the military. Like I said, I had my own gym running in Plymouth, loads of fitness boot camps, and then I had survival running kids' birthday parties. And it just went from there. And then I knew every year I'm going to get a med board check. I could get admin discharge whenever. So I've just been non-stop consistent since probably 2010, 2011 since I came on with the disease in my right eye,
Yeah.
and I haven't.
Mate, I can relate to what you're saying there, and I think we can use different emotions to create energy for momentum for like a future purpose. And I found myself doing the same thing where I was exactly the same boat as you. Started posting online maybe around 3 years ago, but had no idea where that was going to lead me. I just knew that this stuff inside me from like my lived experience through my career has now left me with these tools and wisdom, if you like, that you feel you can pass on to others. So I always like to use the podcast as well for like recent things that have clicked in my head. And for me, there's this thing around not missing the pivot, because we can head off in one direction. But if you get so focused on that's where I'm hoping it's going to lead me to, you can sometimes miss those doors that appear left and right, which then lead you down the next pivot that you're meant to take. And sometimes when you fall flat or you give up, it's because you missed those pivots and you've carried on in that direction without realizing. Just be more flexible, which is where I am now. Because when I started posting online, I had no idea that was going to lead to me buying it, as we were talking before we started, buying this mobile sauna and now passing on the stuff that I've learned around sea swimming and connection with nature and stillness. I'm now passing that on to others, but it's because I've been so flexible to just go with the flow and follow that thing inside me, like the heart, because it's so easy to get clouded by judgment, fear of what people are going to think of you. But the other thing that I thought was interesting was you said you were doing that because you don't care what people think, which I'm the opposite. So when I started posting online, I care too much. So that made it so hard for me to post online personally, especially when you're talking about mental health and stuff. So have there been moments where you've had doubt creep in and fear of judgment and maybe been focused too much on where you're hoping to get to?
And I liked how you said that. Is a lot of people are feared of sharing anything on social media because they're worried about people's opinions. What you got to remember is people's opinions won't pay your bills, and no one cares. Everyone's got their own lives. Everyone's got their own lives. People put self pressure on themselves. They're scared to post and follow their dreams and goals. There's a good saying: a lot of dreams and goals are left in the graveyards because people are scared to chase them because they're worried about what people. And I keep trying to teach my daughter this. I'm happy to go in the middle of the city centre in town and just lie on the floor just to show my daughter that people might look at you and think you're weird for a second and carry on with their normal life. They've got too much on the mind to care what I'm doing on the floor. And I try and tell my daughter this: no one cares. No. How many people are stressed paying the bills? How many people are stressed trying to get a holiday, getting to work? No one cares about little old Steve Kelly posting a survival post on social media. I've been mocked, I've been laughed at, but then it's forgotten about within 5 minutes. I used to get hammered by the lads in the sergeant's mess in camp. Lads used to laugh at me over on my social media. Now I've built a business from online. I'm not looking for a job after retirement. I've got my own company. I've built my survival company. I've grew my social media where I get brand deals, so on and so forth, because I do not care what people think. And you're going down as well is absolutely spot on. You're doing this to inspire people, and this is going to resonate with people, believe it or not, because you're talking to people about it. And the fact you've got ice baths and you do mental health and breath work, people want to do all that, but people are scared to post about it. And this is how you grow a business. You gotta have the balls to get out there and throw yourself in the parapet. And that's one thing I'm not scared of. I'm not scared of rejection. I crave rejection. I want people to say no. So when I've been trying to chase survival jobs or work on LinkedIn and companies come back, oh, we're not interested at the minute, I go again. I chase the no's because I know I'm going to get a yeah. And that's what I think about social media. I'll post all my survival content. And where you talked about social media, I've been trying to grow my survival company. And where you said there's avenues going left and right, I'm posting daily about my adventures being outdoors. The next minute, I'm getting contacted by casting agencies to do survival TV shows, which are good paying jobs. And it's built my brand. I get contacted by Discovery Channel. I went and done Naked and Afraid. I got dropped off in the Amazon jungle for 21 days. I've done absolutely amazing on it. They called me back. I ended up doing Naked and Afraid Apocalypse. They dropped me off in South Africa for 35 days. Then I get contacted by Channel 4 to do a survival show, all because of social media, because I was never scared of posting out there. And just like you said, there's so little. My goal was my company. Because I'm focused on my company, but I'm always open to left and right. Where you said, I always see the little opportunities.
Yeah.
Do you want to come and do this survival show? Yeah, and I'm willing to test myself, and I'm willing to fail if I have to on TV, because I'm not scared of what people think. I'm willing to put myself out there. And looking for me, I've got through all the challenges. But yeah, just keep doing. Don't care about
Mate,
no
I love
one's
that.
opinion.
I love that, and it's bang on. Like, you've got those attributes that I'm working towards. I feel myself, I'm growing it, and I feel like it is a muscle that you can grow. And it's undoubtedly a lot of that will be from your military background, and right from day one, back at the start, the amount of, or the lack of control you have over how much discomfort you're put in means that then you soon build that resilience. And now you're using those same skills to build your brand through those lessons you've learned. Is clear to me. And thanks for the feedback, I appreciate it. Do you feel it is a muscle, the growth mindset of being comfortable living in that unknown territory and not relying so much on, well, I did this formula yesterday which worked for me, because it's almost impossible to have that mindset and do what we're both trying to achieve here?
Your signal just dropped out then. I didn't hear that. It just all went quiet.
Sorry, mate. I don't know what's happened there. So it's fine because I can just edit it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but your screen's went all fuzzy. It's like...
Let's give it a second. Tell me when it's good, mate, and
So I can hear you, but it's delayed. All your screen's delayed now.
the video, sometimes, as long as you can hear me, don't worry too much. Sometimes the screen goes all funny. It records in 4K, but sometimes the screen that you see might be a little bit distorted, but as long as the voice is coming through.
I can hear you perfect now as well, though, yeah.
So I asked you if you feel like growth mindset is a muscle that you train, and it goes against what many people do, and I was guilty of myself, where for me, growth, like comfort, is doing what I did yesterday and not being happy in that unknown territory where I've got no idea how this is going to work out. I'm scared. I don't know what the outcome is, but I'm going to push through anyway. Do you feel that is a muscle that you can train? And it's clear that that's something that you've trained a hell of a lot.
100%. Your growth mindset is a muscle you can train. You've got to be willing to push yourself out your comfort zone. Now, I had the option to extend in the military for another 2 years. I have the easy option, being a sergeant major and carrying on. I got offered a 2-year extension. And don't get me wrong, I was nervous turning this down because I'm on a really good wage as a sergeant major. Being self-employed with my company, it's seasonal. It's only outdoors. I'm quiet from like November to February. Do you know what I mean? Then in the summer holidays, because I work in schools now as well, I don't have no jobs. I get my odd bookings over the summer holidays, but a lot of families going away with the kids. And I had the option to take the easy, but I've accepted faith and I'm going all in with my company. And it is something what happened with growth, right? I'm going to tell you the story about my military career. 2 years ago, I ended up getting court-martialed. I went to court with my colonel. I don't want to say no names on this in case they're watching this. Obviously, I told you about my eyesight, and I get reviews every year. We had a new hierarchy take over, a new colonel, new RSM, new 2IC, who took over the regiment, and they just didn't agree with my social media and all my survival stuff. I don't think they understood that I was getting medical reviews every year. There are a new hierarchy in, and I'd get comments like this. So I'm a military SEER instructor, so I was teaching all survival across the military. But I've got my own survival company, Southwest Survival, and I'd get comments by hierarchy saying, a unit contacted us for you to go and teach survival. We've said no, you can teach survival in your own time for your own company. And I'm like, I'm a military survival instructor. There's nothing to do with Southwest Survival. And they'd be like, so you're not getting paid any extra money? I'm like, no, I'm doing it through the military. This is what people thought. But anyway, I ended up getting an opportunity to go and do a survival TV show on Channel 4. I went through all the channels of MOD media. Everyone accepted it. Then the day before I went on the challenge, I got a call from the RSM, and it says, the CO doesn't want you going on the challenge. I said, I've just signed all contracts. I've went through all the process properly to get this opportunity. Well, anyway, I went and done the challenge. It came out on telly 6 months later, and I was getting suspended from work. And what the regiment was trying to do was they were trying to bust me rank and post me and send me out of the commando unit. And I could have just rolled over and took that. But I thought, you know what, I'm gonna step up for myself now and go against the grain, and I did. I ended up taking it to court martial, and it was a long process, and it was the worst feeling I've ever been through. But I was sticking to my guns because I knew I was right at the time. I knew I shouldn't have been getting busted and posted. and took it to court martial. It was an ongoing I was off work for 6 months. They suspended me for 6 months. I got told I'll never serve in the commandos again because I disobeyed a lawful order. This is what I was getting told, and people were writing statements against me, bad statements, what were all wrong. And I was getting told by certain individuals, just take it, take a busting, go somewhere else, and just enjoy the rest of your career. And in my mind, I was like that. I'm not rolling over for no one. I'm a sergeant major. I'm stepping up for myself. And then I took it to court martial. Lo and behold, I got a little slap on the wrist. I was back in camp as a sergeant major, never got posted nowhere. And that's all growth. And everyone was shocked that I took the main man to court martial, but I believed what he was doing was wrong. And people are scared to do that. People are scared to step out the comfort zone. But when you start stepping out your comfort zone and achieving, you start growing. You start growing and you start becoming bulletproof. And like I said, my mindset is absolutely bulletproof. I'm not money orientated. I never have been. But I do understand that you need money to be secure. But I've got dreams and goals. I want freedom. That's all I want. But I know to have freedom, I need to earn a bit of money. But if I can go away teaching survival skills in Scotland, in Wales, then get to enjoy a little holiday, a little weekends, that's freedom to me. And that's all I'm doing. And I keep pushing myself out my boundaries. Some of these survival challenges I've been on with a cameraman in front of your face, right out my comfort zone, showing you at your weakest points. And that's growth in itself. And I love watching it back and tell, I can't believe I actually did that. But you can train it. You've just got to go all in what your dreams and goals are. Like I know you're doing your ice baths now. You're pushing out your comfort zone, doing these podcasts, getting people on and putting it out there. And the only worst thing you're going to get from people is someone's going to say no, they're not going to come on your podcast, or someone's going to say no, they're not going to book for me survival, or they're going to do a little comment saying, "Oh, boring."
Exactly.
But what else are you going to get from it? And people are scared to do that in front of people. People are scared to put themselves out there, and I'm not. But the more you do it, the more you grow.
I can't say how much I resonate with every part of what you just said. Yeah, every single part of that. I know exactly how you feel and how you felt along each part of that journey, and it's not nice. But when you look back, you're grateful for it, because I guarantee there'll have been moments where you were going through that time and you were filled with anger, you were filled with frustration, disbelief, let down, abandoned. But it's clear that you've used those emotions to actually fuel doing something like all that stuff you've built for yourself, because there's two options you got when you're in those moments, and you learn a lot about yourself as well. I think you can sit there, you can dwell on it, you can hit a can, you can go out, you can do all those quick wins that make you feel a little bit better in the moment, but actually you're just self-sabotaging even further. You then start picking the phone up, you're ringing your mates, you're moaning about it, you're creating this energy around you that is just negative, and then you pretty much you're going downwards, not upwards. But by building, and you might not see the benefits of it at the time straight away, but you're building for the future. So you're doing all this stuff, and then when you fought and you cleared your name or whatever happened from that, and you've come up, you've yo-yoed. You're like, thank fuck, I did all of that stuff for myself, because it's a powerful thing when you use anger, sadness, frustration as fuel. I would argue there's nothing as powerful.
Mate, and do you know what? When I was suspended from work, and this was hard for me, I was 2-9 commando through and through, and I still am. But that was my regiment, that was my baby. I spent, at the time, I'd done 22 years. 22 years when I got suspended, and I'm thinking, how has this happened to me? And I was in total disbelief. I won the Goshen Medal, which is a medal within the artillery of notable service. Of getting all these awards, I'm doing survival and giving up weekends training people's families and representing my unit. So when this hierarchy came in, I was in massive disbelief. I felt like I'd been let down. I felt like I'd been failed. But what it did, it gave me the kick in the arse to focus on myself. And the first few weeks, I was depressed at home. My wife had to get a grip of me. I was just moping around the house going, what do I do? I've got no purpose. But then she gave me a kick up the arse, and it was a light bulb moment. My military career is finishing in a year and a half at the time. This is my time, 6 months off now, to go all in with my company. Even though I was going all in anyway, I was doing it every day. But there's some people trying to drag me down. And now I'm so grateful that I fought back that. Now I've come to the end of my career, and my business is where it's at. But when I came back to work, all the hierarchy changed. And my new colonel who came in absolutely supported me and let me go
Yeah.
to Africa. When I got offered another job with Discovery Channel, he let me go to Africa, and next minute I'm in the military magazines, the Soldier mag representing the military, the Gunner magazine, and from a different hierarchy, how everything just changed, where I was getting supported by the MOD again, and I was in all the magazines. But yeah, it was the worst time of my career. I was so down. I was devastated for a few weeks, but it made me realise I've got to constantly focus on myself, because my military
Yeah.
career is going to go on forever. It's going to end soon, and now it has. But my business is always going to be there, and my brand's always going to be there, and that's why I'm happy I've stuck to my guns. But that's how you grow as a person. Don't let something bring
Yeah.
you down. Just look at the positives in every negative, and that's what I did.
So here's a question then. So a lot of people, like, the intention of this podcast is to bring on people that have overcome challenges, difficult times, to inspire people that are stuck in that place now. So to be people that are where you were, something out of their control's happened and they feel frustrated and they're down in the dumps. They might not have the same tools that you had to pull themselves out of it, or do the right thing, or worst case scenario, not do the real self-sabotage stuff. So I'd be interested to know, like, what were your go-to tools that you used in that time to try and pull yourself out of it? And I'm guessing nature's a big part of that, but I'd be really interested to hear your go-tos for that.
Mate, that's perfect. That, and you said it, nature. So whenever I'm down or miserable, my wife keeps saying I've got bipolar, because I can have extreme highs and extreme lows within a split second. And all I need to do is go out and go for a walk in nature, whether I'm on Dartmoor, whether I go camping, whether I go hiking. So yesterday I ended up walking the southwest coastal path. I was a bit pissed off, just sitting in the house. Like, right, I've just come back from camping. I've been up in Scotland on a high all week, and I've come back home, and I'm like, what can I do now? And she was like, just get out the house before you start getting moody. And straight away, I'm chilled out. Soon I went for a walk around the southwest coastal path from my house to Bovey Sands to Jenny Cliff, back to Plymouth. I've done an 8-mile route, and straight away I feel better. So my go-to is whenever I'm stressed or down or spiraling, I need to get a backpack on and go out. And that's always been one for me. Away from people, up on Dartmoor in nature is the best therapy.
On your own?
I love, just on my own.
Yeah.
No, I like
can
going
relate
out
to
with
that.
I do like going out with my wife as well, because my wife keeps me on the straight and narrow, and she's really nice to talk to. Well, she does all the talking, I just listen. But I do like going out with the wife, and I do like going on my own. So when I went on my own yesterday on the southwest coastal path, I seen like one person running it. Obviously, it was raining, muddy. I seen one person in like 2.5 hours, and it was nice just taking in the fresh air. I do like doing that, and that's always my go-to when I'm stressed. I need to get out the house and go for a walk. I don't need to. I don't really drink. I don't self-sabotage and start drinking, but I can self-sabotage in my head. I'm going, everything's failing on me. What am I going to do? My business is not working. Then I need to get up and go for a walk. Then when I come back, I'm more motivated and that. So that's what I know about myself before I start spiraling.
Yeah, and I'm exactly the same. I go in the sea 3-4 times a week all year round now, and these are all things that I've only introduced over the last 2 to 3 years. And if I compare how I used to spiral and distract myself with negative habits and escapism through just working every hour, now my go-tos are exactly the same as you. I'll get out for a run or a walk in nature. And I wrote something down actually, and it was basics plus discipline equals resilience. And it's a common thread, that because I spoke to loads of military lads now on the podcast, and Simon Jeffries, who's doing really well with his coaching brand, and he talks about, really, really good guy. And he talks about just doing the basics over and over, and that builds that excellence that is what took him through the special forces. It was nothing fancy. It wasn't anything extravagant. And the guys that came in that tried to reinvent the wheel and do something impressive, they were the ones that would generally fail. It was the guys like him that came in and just did the basics, nothing fancy, but I'm going to do the same thing because I know I can do it well. And that applies, I think, to how we manage and regulate our emotions.
Yeah.
Just getting out in nature. I can't stress anything more to people. And sometimes if I let like anger or these other emotions take a real grip, they almost know that by going out for a walk, they have to hand the reins over. So they're that stubborn sometimes that like, no, I'm not going to go out for a walk because then I won't feel angry anymore. It's like at that point you've left it too late.
Yeah.
As soon as you feel it creep in, just get out as soon as you can. Go for a walk, and I guarantee, especially if you can go somewhere where you're going to look at either up on Dartmoor and you can see for so far, you can see all the moors across the land. It's the same as when I go down to the beach and I can see the ocean. It's that expansion of your view instantly reduces the cortisol, so you're just eradicating stress from your body.
Yeah.
I love it. It's the same. It's the same. You speak to lots of people that, like yourself, have spent years in different environments. There's certain common themes that you see now in people. But yeah, I wanted to ask you about your adventure stuff you're doing now and gifting that stuff you've learned now to others. How's that feel?
Oh, I absolutely love it. The fact I've set up my own little survival company, and the fact I get to go into schools and teach people skills and how to make a fire, how to build a shelter, cooking up bugs and pushing out the comfort zones. And I get a real sense of pride from it as well, because I was a little scally in school. I was a little scally. I got kicked out my last year. School weren't for me, but the army was for me. It put me on the street in Narrow straight away. I got a slap round the head as soon as I started being a little gobby scouser, and it put me on the street and narrow where school wasn't for me. Sitting in the classroom behind a blackboard, someone writing chalk on there, writing stuff on there, whereas I needed to be in the outdoors. And I go into school now and teach some kids who need extra provisions, and they just remind me what I was like. I was the little shit in school, and they're not listening, they're struggling. But when they're with me out in the class, not in the classroom, sorry, outdoors, the totally different. And the teachers always tell me, "Oh, he's really naughty in school," and I'm shocked over it because I'm thinking he's the easiest kids I've ever worked with. And I love doing that because it reminds me what I was like. I wish I had something like this when I was younger in school, just getting kids outdoors. And I wish someone took me outdoors. But obviously, I was in cadets and scouts and joining the military. But I love the feeling of it. Someone who's meant to be a really naughty kid, the next minute he's lighting a fire, he's cooking up some bugs over the fire, and he's scanning it. And now I get a real sense of achievement from it. And just last week, I took one of my old mates up in Scotland. I don't know if you've seen him on Instagram, Scouser in a van, Mickey Grills. I took him out up in Scotland in the Highlands, and he's got a good social platform. He's outdoors and he's trying to live in a van or live camping. He hasn't got a clue what he's doing. And he just contacted me saying, I'd love you to teach me some survival. So I went up to Scotland with him, seeing what he was good at. And I taught him loads of skills and just how happy he was, how to do a proper fire, how to build a proper shelter. And I get a good sense of achievement and pride from that. And I just want to keep doing this till I die now. And this is my goal. And I've been fortunate enough now to be able to do it on TV and share some survival skills to the world now.
I love it. I feel as well, you talk about, and I love that, going into schools and kids that are labelled as naughty. I think so much of that is that they haven't found that thing that they can apply what they're actually good at. And many kids that probably struggle in school are just not meant for that system. They don't thrive in it, and they see others that do thrive, and it gives them all that negative self-talk we just spoke about. They haven't given the skills to work their way through it, but then you're giving them this alternative, and instantly they're able to apply and use their hands and come into like what we call the flow state.
Yeah.
Which is the art of doing something that you're good at and that you enjoy and that you can see there's a problem. But how satisfying is it when you see someone that's in one of your classes or sessions and they've identified a problem? You know that you could come in and give them the solution, but you can actively see them working things out and then they solve that problem. Is that a big part of what you're doing?
Yeah, so I do a challenge with some of the kids called the Water Challenge, and I drop loads of guttering systems off. I drop bamboo and elastic bands, and this is what I do with all the kids to see. It's a problem-solving challenge. You can go check it out on my business Instagram at Southwest Survival, and you see some of the videos I put up there, and it's a challenge I get the kids to do. Now, the scenario is we're in one village where we've got loads of water, we're a thriving village, and so it's a bucket on the floor. Then there's another bucket about 30 metres away on a bit of an angle with no water. And I tell the kids, right, scenario is we've got a thriving village. That village is in a drought, they're struggling. We've been directed to build some water viaduct to get from our village to their village, and water's got to run freely from our village to their village down the viaduct. Scenario, though, there's a big mountain in the middle of us, so there's no straight line. You've got to go around the mountain. And I give them that scenario. and they've got elastic bands, plastic guttering and bamboo sticks, and I let them crack on for 40 minutes. And it's some of the kids who are really quiet in school, who don't talk, and the teachers are shocked when they're there going, he never talks. I can't believe he can do stuff like this. Who's planning it? They're bringing the kids in together, and they're coming up with so many ideas. And that's my favourite challenge to watch. And you've got to remember, schools, the schools haven't changed for over 100 years. 30 kids in a school watching a teacher on a chalkboard or a whiteboard, whatever they use, and that's it. School hasn't changed, and school's not built for everyone. I'm a kinesthetic learner. I struggle if someone tells me, or if someone shows me. That's why I was good in the military. You strip a weapon system down, you're showing me. You go through EDIP, explain, demonstrate, imitate, practice. You explain what I'm doing, you're going to demonstrate, and then we're going to imitate, and then I'm going to practice. That's why the military was good for me, but school wasn't. And I incorporate all them in my lessons. I go through EDIP, I go through kinesthetic learning. They've got to do hands-on. There's no sitting behind us watching someone. We're going to imitate it, we're going to practice, and you're going to do it again. And that challenge is absolutely amazing to watch. I love how they problem solve, and the quiet kids in the class who doesn't even speak. Next minute, he's the boss. Here's what we need to do. We're going to get them elastic bands. We're going to get that bamboo. We're going to get the taller bamboo. We're going to do this, that, and the other. And it's absolutely amazing to watch.
I can't imagine how satisfying that is. It's everything that I aspire to with what I'm building, where it's, the benefits, and you want to get to the point where you're spreading that to as many people as you possibly can, because you know that it can't not help people, because there are some similarities between what we're doing, because you're getting people out in nature, you're getting people hands-on. Like with what I'm doing with the sauna, it's not just a sauna, it's a wood-fired sauna, so it takes me 2 hours to set up what I'm doing, but I've got every little add-on you can have with body salt scrubs, and I'm doing breath work, and we've got barefoot, we're on the grass, we're grounding, we're doing big body movements. It's all there, and you have to take a step back sometimes and appreciate what you've created as well. I think is key. And you have little moments where you just watch people running about enjoying it, and then the most enjoyable thing for me, which I'm going to ask you if you have similar moments, is where you teach someone something and they enjoy it and they listen to you that much that you then watch them the week after, and it's almost verbatim what you've told them. They're then passing on to their friends and to other people that are there. It's so cool.
Oh, mate, I love it. So I ran events over the half term, over February half term. Yeah, last week. Yeah, last week I was running events last week, and I'd do an event on the Tuesday, a kids' event. Then on a Wednesday, the same kids have booked again, asked his mum to book again, but he's brought his friends, and he's given the lesson next to them, saying what we're bugs and all that. And I'm like, I'm trying to, because there's new kids there who have just booked on. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, he's done it with me yesterday, but we're trying to teach everyone else. And he's there telling his mates exactly what we've done. And he's still, and the mum and dads have paid for him to come again with me over the half term. And it's like that all the time. And I do get a sense of pride out of it. But what I do get, you might get this sometimes, I do have a bit of self-doubt. And I think a lot of people go through this. Sometimes I think, is my business going to work? Is this working? Am I going to make it work? And my wife always gives me the kick up the arse. And when I run events and I see I've got 20 kids at an event, every time I put events on, I think, do you know what? I have created something. I've been running this alongside the military for 10 years. Now I'm doing it now. I have got something there. But I do it every now and then. I do have self-doubt.
Yeah.
Creep into my mind. Then all I've got to do is give myself a kick up the arse, or get a kick up the arse from the wife, and go for me walk, like we said before, in nature. And I come back strutting around the house going, you know what, it is working, I am motivated. I'm going to do this next, I'm going to do that next, and it proper sets me up like.
Do you believe in the power of manifestation and the power of whatever we believe and think will become? So the more you let that doubt creep in and you look for the evidence to support the case that you're not going to make it, you actually create the energy to attract that back.
Yeah.
But because that's one of the biggest life changes I've made over the last year, is that is how I now live my life. So when I feel myself letting the negativity creep in, I do everything I can to remove it, because I know that I'm actually attracting what I'm scared of.
Mate, that's spot on now. And here's a good saying, you might have heard of it. Vision is the art of seeing something, even if it's invisible to others. I've already had my vision of Southwest Survival. I know where my company, I can see the end state already. I can see it's going to be a successful brand. I'm going to have bookings every day. I can already see that.
Yeah.
And that's, every time I have little moments, I snap out and I think to myself, do you know what? I've got my own survival school fully set up. I've got my own coffee line, my clothing line. I've built a world in the metaverse for kids who don't want to be outdoors. We've got an Oculus headset on. I've built my survival worlds in that. I've progressed so much. I'm getting birthday party bookings all the time. I'm getting corporate bookings. But when I have these little negative moments, that's all I think. I can see the end state of my company. I've got a shooting range set up now on my land. I've got an archery range set up, and it's constantly expanding. And I can see it growing. And it's funny when I look at my school now, my survival school, with my tarp set up, my outdoor bits all set up. But I could see that before it was even set up.
Yeah.
Like vision is seeing something, even if it's invisible to others. I knew how it was going to look. Because that's been in my mind. I knew how my shooting range was going to look. I knew how my archery range was going to look, and I love it seeing it when I'm manifesting and it happens. It builds into place because I'm constantly thinking about it, and it's what you dream of, you attract. Like you said,
Yeah.
but if you're starting to be negative all the time, you will start manifesting that and going down that route. So, give myself a kick up the arse, go out in nature, give myself a little walk. My wife gives me a little slap and puts me back on path. Then I'm back in the game again, and that's how I constantly cycle through stuff.
You can see that. I think as well, that mindset is easier to maintain when you get to where you are now and where I am now compared to where I was, because you've already built that proof that it works. But it's very difficult for people that are listening that maybe haven't made that first step towards their actual dream. So they're sat in that job or the relationship or a house, and they haven't had that courage to take that first step or the belief in themselves. I think it's that belief that is the key to visualize the person you know you're capable of becoming, and just take a grip of it and go, no, I'm not going to let that go, and just go back to comfort. What would you say to those people, like right back at the start?
Do you know what? I'll take the leap, because you never know. You never know. You don't want to be on your deathbed at 80 thinking, I wish I did that. Try now while you're still young, you're fresh, and you've got options. Make sure you've got a bit of savings in the bank, which could cover you over a few months if it fails. But you can't fail if you keep going. You only fail when you quit. Now, I had a comment the other week from one of my mates in the army saying, "Oh, you've landed on your feet, haven't you, Steve?"
Overnight success, eh?
I landed on my feet. I've been doing this for 10, 15 years, grafting daily, getting abuse, getting attacked, getting laughed at, getting mocked, just because I've landed a few contracts now in local schools in Plymouth. You're saying I've landed on my feet? That's 10 years of grafting, 10 years of not giving a fuck what people think. And you just need, sorry for swearing, I got a bit passionate there.
It's fine. I always, mate, honestly, I put it as not for kids anyway, this podcast, because it's the nature of it. Sometimes talking about suicide and we're talking about all sorts of stuff. So you just let it come out naturally, mate. Don't worry.
But yeah, that comment, you've landed on your feet, and I've grafted for this. I've never cared what people think. I'm willing to put myself out there. I'm willing to fail. But like I said, I haven't failed yet, because you only fail when you quit. And I've grafted knowing that Southwest Survival is what I want to do. I want to teach people how to survive. I want to get people in the outdoors, get them off the PlayStations. And so if you're watching this podcast now and you're thinking, I'm not happy in my job, like I weren't happy. I loved being a commando, but I weren't happy in it. I didn't want to take that extra 2 years. And I know a lot of lads who I worked with in the military, they're scared to get out, or I don't know what I want to do. I'm like, mate, you're a sergeant major in commando forces. You've got so much potential, more than what you think. But you're in this little mindset bubble that you're trapped. You think you can't do nothing. And that's the average person. The average person thinks life is you go to work, you get paid, you go home, and you do that till you die. That's life's plan. But I don't want to be on life's plan. I'm creating my own path. I don't want to be on life's plan till I'm 70, get my pension and die. I want to create my own adventures. I don't want to be stuck in the same rut in the rat race, and that's why I couldn't take that extra 2 years in the military. Then after 2 years, maybe take another extension. I couldn't do that. So if you're watching this and you've got something burning inside deep that you want to go and achieve, go for it. What's the worst that could happen? Someone might say no, or it's not for you, but at least you've tried, and go for it.
Fully agree. And there's something, again, recently that's clicked, and it's those days where I'm thinking the podcast isn't growing. I'm never going to achieve anything with the podcast. It's so much effort, all the editing. And I get the impression with you when you look back and you remember those times where you had so much doubt and it wasn't going your way, and you've put so much time and energy into it, and you've got no idea if it's going to work out. Looking back now, would you have that any other way?
No, wouldn't have it any other way. When I look back and put my first ever event on for Southwest Survival, not one person turned up. And I remember paying for Facebook and all that. Not one person turned up. But what I did the next day, I done another event and I asked all my mates from the I asked loads of people to turn up. I had 14 lads turn up for one night, and I said, "Just come in the woods with me and let me get loads of photos of you doing stuff." And they all did. They came in the woods. I got live chickens. Then what I did, I started posting them pictures. Then I started asking the lads, "Oh, I'll run a birthday party for you. Cover all the outgoings. I'll run a birthday party for your kid's birthday, as long as you get reviews and post it all over social media."
Yeah.
And that's what happened. So my first few events, I bought all my equipment and I was getting no one, but I had to get the lads from work to support me. I had to go through my circle of influence, get all my friends and go, just come in the woods for a night. I'll buy you all a beer. Just let me get photos and little videos of you making a fire using a ferro rod, making a little trap, putting a tarp up. Just let me post it on me Devon survival page before Southwest Survival came in. And that's what I was doing. That's all I did. And then I started with my first groups of people. Oh, look, you've been out with me now for a day. Can you go on Google and give me a review? Make sure you give me a 5-star review. And they did. And then that's how the brand built. And then every time I started teaching military survival, I'd go away and exercise, teaching my regiment, and I'd go to all the boys. I go, I know it's the military here, but if you don't mind, if you like that lesson, just go on to Southwest Survival on Google and just go and give us a 5-star review, boys. Give us and have a little bit of banter with them, and I'd get a 5-star review saying, "Oh, amazing military survival from Steve. I learned this, and that's all I've done to build the brand. And I've been consistently, I've been sickly consistent for the last 10 years, mate. And then obviously I went from a sole trader to a limited company in 2019, and I've been ever since. And this is going to be this month on my termination leave. As of the 25th of this month, I'm officially out the military, and I'm fully Southwest Survival.
It's brilliant, mate, and it's clear that this is your passion, your purpose, is your mission, is everything you've learned. So therefore, if you compare that to other things that people do and they give up, it's because it wasn't all of those things.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel so important now is, for me, I know that I'm on the same mission. So it's impossible for me to give up because it means so much to me. It actually feels bigger than you as a person, doesn't it? It's like, this is actually what I'm meant to do. So I won't stop. But the other thing with that is it's that Mexican fisherman analogy where it's the guy that just goes out and catches enough fish to feed his family, comes back and plays on the beach all day with his family. And then he's asked the question, why don't you expand it so you can have all these boats and all these people working for you and you'd earn all this money? And then he asked the bloke, well, why would I do that? And he said, well, because then you'll have enough money to just go out, catch enough fish to feed your family and play with your family all day on the beach. It's like, well, that's what I'm already doing. That's what I'm aiming to do. I just want to do this all the time. And it's nothing to do with money. It's just freedom to do what you enjoy.
And you know what's sad? A lot of people have quit on their dreams and goals within a year like that, but they're quite happy to stick to a job they're not happy with for 40 years. Let that sink in. People are happy to go to work, get paid, go home, go to work, and they're stuck in that rut. And you know what really motivated me? Seeing my wife totally quit her job working in schools, and she went all in on her own business, an aesthetics business. She spends a lot of money to get trained up doing this Botox and all that. And she works from home. She's got a little office in our house. And seeing her go from nothing to having a successful business, and it really gave me the kick up the arse when I got offered the 2-year extension. I'm like, oh, and don't get me wrong, like I said, I do have self-doubt sometimes. I do panic thinking, am I going to earn enough? Am I going to be able to pay the bills? Then I strip it down. What do I need money for? I don't need loads of money. I never have. I don't buy clothes. I don't buy things. I just like to travel. That's all I want to do. And seeing my wife succeed from nothing. And I've got a pension behind me as well. I've got a military pension. She's done it from nothing. It's given me more of the kick up the arse and motivate me. But like I said, a lot of people are happy to quit in their dreams and goals within the first year. Say, like, you're doing your podcast now, keep going, because people are happy to go and do a job for 40 years and get a 2% pay rise every year, but give up 90% of their life to get a pension at 68 and die at 75. Yeah. And I don't want that. I want the freedom. I want to go and travel and if I can teach some skills along the way and get paid a bit of money to cover my bills, I'm happy. For
me, it's what are we here for? I'm here for experience. And this podcast has given me the platform to share conversations with people. And as much as I'm doing that to pass on the lessons that they've learned to the audience, there's not a single podcast I've done where I haven't learned something really important for my own life that I then sit on it for a few days. I'm like, that's what that guy meant. And then I'll put it. And the growth I felt as a person from the start to now means that I actually choose not to make questions and notes for that exact same reason, because that would make it easier.
Yeah.
It would be more comfortable for me to have a list of questions. So I can remember the point where I said, well, I'm going to try and do that, but I'm going to have a list of questions there just in case. Again, that's still comfortable. So now I just go with the flow and rely on the fact that if I can't hold a conversation with someone, then I shouldn't be a podcast host. And it's you have to keep pushing yourself through out of comfort, and that can't just be till you get to a certain point. For me, it's, well, when does it stop? And I get the impression with yourself as well. It's, have you always got something bubbling away in your head where you, how can I escalate this from last time, and what do I need to do now to continuously push yourself as well as a person, because you've experienced so much now. So is there anything on your list that you're looking at doing next to push yourself out of your comfort zone?
I'm constantly trying to push myself out of my comfort zone. Growth doesn't stop, mate. I've been offered some more opportunities which I can't really talk about, which are hard survival challenges on TV. And I'm willing to throw myself out there in a parapet and compete against the best people on the planet when it comes to survival. And I'm willing to push myself out the comfort zone in the most extreme survival environments on the planet. And there's more opportunities coming my way, and I'm going to take them all. I'm constantly trying to grow as a human, trying to grow as a survivalist, as a bushcraftman, and pass on these skills to people.
Wish you all the best, mate, with that. That sounds incredible. Yeah, fair play to you, because especially doing that, but doing it as part of other TV or something where lots of people are going to see it potentially. Not only are you putting yourself at risk and in a out of your comfort zone, but you're doing it in a manner that means that people are going to see you either thrive and survive or in their eyes fail. But we know that with the mindset you've got, it's not a failure. It's just, what did I do there that I'll do better next time?
Yeah.
So yeah, fair play to you, mate. Yeah, massive respect.
How much appreciated, mate. And it is scary. I'm not going to lie. It's scary putting yourself out there on TV. Especially because I've got my own survival company, and that always plays me mind. If I drop out of one of the challenges, is that going to affect my business? But no, I'm only still going to grow as a person. I'm challenging myself in all crazy environments that people don't get to go in. Getting dropped off in a jungle for 21 days in the Colombian jungle in the Amazon with no clothes, no food, no shoes, and surviving for 21 days is a massive feat. And getting dropped off in South Africa for 35 days, exactly the same, with no food, no clothes, no shoes, just a knife, nearly getting eaten by a lion, nearly getting squashed by an elephant, nearly getting attacked by a black mamba in my shelter. And this was all on telly, which could have took me out like that. And I still plodded along and pushed myself through adversity.
That's incredible. I'm actually going to watch it.
Yes.
Yeah. Mate, that's quality. Yeah. And that just goes to show, like, what a lot of people see as comfort and discomfort. There's always levels to it.
Yeah.
And you're showing people, you're not telling people that they have to do the same, but I get the impression you're doing it to try and, like, give people that moment of, actually, what am I worrying about? Because look what that guy's doing.
Yeah. And when you're doing these stuff, I'm fully naked with nothing. You don't need much in life. It makes you realise when you're away on these events, you don't need much. Like just last week, I was in Scotland in the mountains, and I was so happy in a little shelter when it was pissing down with rain, eating a few rations with that other lad, Scouser in a van, just with him teaching him survival skills. And I was there all week thinking, in the very highlands of Scotland, what more do you need in life?
Love it. And we'll finish on that, because I always, whilst I'm in the podcast, well, not always, but something that's happened recently is, whilst we're having a conversation, someone says something, and I'm like, you've just chose the name of the podcast episode. So I'm thinking, what more do you need in life? I love it.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I like that, because it's it, isn't it? It's what more do you need in life? You're out there with nothing, and you don't need anything. The rest will be shown. You work it out. Yeah, respect. Mate, thank you so much for your time today. It's been amazing, actually. I had no idea where this conversation was going to go, because we never spoke to each other before today. And that's the beauty of what I'm doing now, is I'm starting to see the benefits of what I'm doing, where the right people are now. We're just gravitating towards each other. And the beauty of this is we didn't know how close we actually live to each other.
Yeah.
There might be a way in the future where we combine the sauna and I put it on a tow bar and we bring it to some survival thing. And it's like, you never know what opportunities are going to present themselves the only way that's not going to happen is if you sit there and do nothing. So
exactly that, Ollie. And like how you said that, because I was going to say exactly the same thing. I haven't met you previously. You live round the corner from me. Get your trailer to my survival site.
yeah, man,
Put on an event and let's inspire people.
I love that, mate. Yeah, no, I've got goosebumps because, and we'll finish because it's action kills anxiety. So yeah, I've said on so many podcasts now, like I'm an anxious bloke, suffered for years of anxiety, depression, and I used to sit in that emotion. And I knew I was destined for more. And now that I'm doing this podcast and I'm following my dream, I'm investing, I'm doing the sauna stuff, like the anxiety is just getting squashed every time. So yeah, I love it. But mate, yeah, let's make it happen. Appreciate it.
Mate, I'm ready to rock and roll. Mate, you find me some dates. We'll have to link through email or whatever. Fire some dates or media, and we'll get an event on for your viewers.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah, I link in real close with all like the Rock to Recovery guys. They've been a big part of my journey as well. So we undoubtedly, there'll be loads of people that we actually, without realizing, in a lot of mutual circles and stuff like that. So yeah, it'd be cool. Mate, thanks again. Right.
Ollie, thank you very much, mate.
No problem, mate. Right. Stay on.